Dynamo Nation, what's going on? My name is James. Thank you for joining me on this episode today. If you're new to the channel, new to Dynamo Nation, welcome. I appreciate you being here. If you're not subscribed, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Definitely helps out the channel, helps me pump out more Dynasty content like this. And today's episode, we are going to be covering rounds 11 through 20 of the Dynasty League Dynamo inaugural draft. If you missed the first video that covered rounds 1 through 10, I'll link that down in the description down below. Go check it out. So yeah, let's get right into today's episode. We're going to be covering rounds 11 through 20, like I've said. And let's see which players are going where. Which positions are jumping at this point in the draft. This is a Superflex league. It is a 12-man league, 40-man rosters, 10-man taxi, full IDP, half-point tight end premium. It's a very big league. So with that said, let's take a look. So I'm going to throw the first slide up on the screen. You guys can take a look at the positional breakdown. We can see 7 quarterbacks, 23 RBs, 26 receivers, 7 tight ends, 11 defensive line, 31 LBs, 13 DBs, and then 2 kickers went in the top 20 rounds. Color me surprised on that one. I was shocked on the kicker situation. I was absolutely shocked to see 2 kickers go in the top 20 rounds. Harrison Butker was one. Justin Tucker was the other. I have no words. I mean, I don't think I took a kicker, the entire draft. I think I just picked one up when it was all said and done. So I was a little shocked to see kickers go this early. You can see the rest of the positional breakdown. A lot of linebackers, a lot of receivers, a lot of running backs still going. Not so many quarterbacks. There was 28, 29 QBs taken in the first 10 rounds, so there wasn't a lot left on the board. Same thing with the tight end situation. I think only 7 tight ends. And then we're starting to see more of the IDP creeping in here. You're starting to see DBs go, D-line go, and obviously, like we mentioned earlier, a lot of linebackers went. So with that said, I want to show you guys the QBs that went in this range, this tier. So rounds 11 through 20. Let's throw that up. You can see right away, only 7. And I'm going to show you where they went in the draft. Davis Mills was the first one off the board at 11-2. Matt Ryan was the second at 12-1. Jameis Winston was the third at 14-1. Jordan Love was the 4th at 14-11. Mason Rudolph was the 5th at 16-8. Tyler Huntley was the 6th at 18-1. And then Mitch Trubisky was the 7th quarterback off the board at 23. So again, 7 QBs went off the board. I took one. I took Mitch Trubisky at the 23 spot. I thought that was great value for him there. This is a super flex league. So for me, I believe that Trubisky is going to get a starting job this season. You look at the teams out there that need QBs. Look at, possibly New Orleans, Denver, Carolina. There's a lot of teams that can use a quarterback. And I think Trubisky's going to get one more chance to show that he can play. Now, we've seen what happened with Ryan Tannehill with Miami, right? Everyone left him for dead, thought he was done. Goes to Tennessee, revives his career. Is it possible that Trubisky can do the same? I think it is possible, especially if he lands in the right situation. Imagine Trubisky goes to Denver with those weapons, with Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, Javonte Williams. That all of a sudden is a pretty interesting spot for him. Or if it's in Carolina with DJ Moore and Terrace Marshall and CMNC. Again, that's a unique spot. He has a chance to have some upside there. So to grab Trubisky where I did late in the draft, I like that one a lot. The other quarterback in this range that I really like a lot that I would be targeting, I wanted him, but he went a little too early for me. That's Davis Mills. We're going to see Lovie Smith has already come out and said that he wants Mills to start next season. Is he lying? We'll find out. But Mills had a really solid rookie year. He was a early 3rd round pick, I believe, back of the 2nd, beginning of the 3rd, one of the 2. So not huge expectations. Was in an absolute dumpster fire last year with the Texans, and he played well. There was moments where Davis Mills looked very, very nice. And you can say whatever you want. Mac Jones was probably the QB1 out of the rookies last year. He probably performed the best. When Mills went up against Mac Jones in that head-to-head matchup, Mills outplayed him with a much worse supporting cast. So to me, Davis Mills in that 11th round, that's sneaky value. I also like Jordan Love in the 14th. I think that's a really good spot to be targeting Jordan Love. Even if you got to sit another year, he's going to get that job at some point. Rodgers, he can't play forever. We just seen Brady retire. I don't think Rodgers is going to go along as Brady did. We might see Rodgers again for one more year in Green Bay. Eventually, Jordan Love will take over. A super flex draft, start up, taking Jordan Love in the 14th round, and you could just sit on him with large rosters, 40-man rosters. I like that move. That's a move thinking forward. So Huntley, that was another pick in this draft, this round. It depends on if you have Lamar Jackson or not. If you do have Lamar Jackson, it might be smart to grab Huntley in the back end based on injuries to Lamar Jackson. He runs the ball a lot. That means he's going to be open and susceptible to injuries. That's always been my biggest fear with Lamar Jackson is those hits that he takes. Now, he's a dynamic player, dynamic quarterback, but is his shelf life going to be as long as the rest of these guys just based on those hits? I don't know. So let me know, Dynamo Nation, which was your favorite quarterback in this tier? Which selection did you like the most? Drop in the comments below. And with that said, let's take a look at our RBs. So our first 10 running backs off the board between rounds 11 through 20. James Conner at 11-7, Ramondre Stevenson 11-8, Devin Singletary 11-9, Chase Edmonds 11-11, James Robinson 12-3, Kareem Hunt at the 12-6, Rashad Penny at the 12-10, Kenneth Gainwell at the 13-5, Madison at the 13-9, and Melvin Gordon at the 14-9. I think there's a lot of value here for those second-tier running backs, between rounds 11 and 14. James Conner just put up an RB1 season in Arizona. Do I think he does that again this year? No, there's no way he's going to repeat those TD numbers. But if he stays in Arizona, he's going to have a very good season. Devin Singletary, towards the end of the season in Buffalo, we've seen that they turned to him. They started feeding him more. He's obviously a better player than Zach Moss. Hopefully Buffalo's figure that out. And if they have, Devin Singletary has a chance to pop into a back-end RB1, RB2 situation really quick in Buffalo. If they begin to feed him, he is going to put up numbers. So to get him this late, Kareem Hunt was an RB1 2 seasons ago with the Browns. A run-heavy offense. He was hurt last season. He's still going to split time with Nick Chubb, but he's a receiving threat out of the backfield. He gets goal line touches. He's going to get 10, 12, 13 carries a game on top of the receiving work. Again, probably a borderline RB1, RB2, depending on the format, but a very solid RB2. To grab him this late in the draft, these are great moves. There's a lot of value to be had in the running back room this late in your startup Superflex drafts. 11 through 14. Now, after that, it gets real sketchy and gets dicey. I'm not going to debate that. But there is a lot of value here, okay? You got your Chase Edmonds, who you guys know I like a lot. He's a great receiving back. He put up great numbers on the ground this season. 5.5, 5.6 yards per carry. He's going to catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a free agent. Who knows where he goes? He can land in a great situation, and his value just takes a huge, huge turn towards like a very solid RB2, which is what he was when he was healthy this season. Rashad Penny finished the season as the ultimate Dynasty Fantasy Football Playoff champion. That dude won leagues this year. If you took a chance on Penny and you kept him, he won you titles this season. And to get him in the end of the 12th round, let's say he has turned the corner. Do I think he's always had the talent, but if he's turned the corner on the health situation and he's finally healthy, Rashad Penny is a dog. And to get him this late in the draft, again, you're not taking him in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. You're taking him in the 12th round. These are where you can take those dart throws, and if they pan out, these are the throws that make your team. They make your season. Set up your dynasty. Killing this part of the draft, rounds 11 through 20, this is where you have to really be hyper-focused, hyper-aggressive. Zone in and figure it out. You have to have a plan and a strategy during this time frame. For me, I was going after a running back. I took Devin Singletary. I'm happy with Devin Singletary, where I got him. He was my 3rd RB off the board. Think about that. The 12th round is when I hit my 3rd RB. So that's how I played this draft. Let me know, guys. What do you think? Which of these RBs do you like in this tier? Which one do you think was a good value? Who was the best value? Let me know down in the comments. So let's take a look at wide receiver. Wide receiver, the deepest position in all of football. We know that. Top 10 receivers off the board in this tier. We're talking Christian Kirk at the 11-5, Cortland Sutton at 11-10, Allen Robinson 11-12, OBJ 12-2, Rondale Moore 12-4, Kendrick Bourne 12-5, Adam Thielen 12-12, Michael Gallup 13-4, Josh Palmer 14-3, and Robert Woods at the 14-6. A lot of talent here, and there's fluctuations of this talent. You have a lot of young players who didn't pop last year, and you have a lot of older vets, right? That's what this tier is consisted of. And again, I can only tell you what I did. I drafted 2 receivers in this tier. Cortland Sutton in the 11th round, and then I came back towards the end of this and took Josh Palmer. Now, why did I do that? Josh Palmer I grabbed because I have Mike Williams. I took Mike Williams in the 10th round. To me, if Mike Williams leaves the Chargers, Palmer is the likely number 2 receiver in that offense. And we've seen what Mike Williams did last year as a number 2 receiver, right? He was a very solid wide receiver too. He started the season on absolute fire and then cooled off as he normally does. but very solid wide receiver too. Now, if he leaves, which is likely, Palmer slides into that spot. Keenan Allen's only getting older. To me, this late in the draft to take Palmer, he's got third round pedigree. I mean, Herbert is probably Dynasty QB 1 or 2, maybe 3 at this point. He's an absolute stud. Give me every single weapon I can possibly grab that's going to be attached to Herbert for the next 10 years. That's how I'm looking at it. And for me, Palmer was the guy. I wanted to grab him. Let's see what happens. I like his talent. I like his upside. And if he hits, this is going to be an absolute steal for me that late in the draft. The other receiver I took was Courtland Sutton. Now, you can't dispute his talent. Courtland Sutton is a very talented receiver. He's got a 1,000-yard season to his belt. He's been in a dysfunctional offense with terrible quarterbacks. He still produces, though. When he's been given the opportunity and the offense has been geared towards him, he has produced. Jerry Jeudy's there, Noah Fant's there, so there's other players around him to pull coverage. Courtland Sutton is one of those guys who is going to be down in drafts this year. And what I'm telling you is Denver is going to have to address that quarterback situation. They have a really good defense. They have the skill players. Devontae Williams, we mentioned earlier. They need a quarterback. They're going to have to get that squared away. I fully expect them to go grab Garoppolo, Trubisky I mentioned earlier. They're going to do something to upgrade that spot. And that's only going to impact the skill players. The Courtland Suttons, the Jerry Jeudy's. And Jeudy went much earlier in this draft than Courtland Sutton. And to me, it's arguable between who I'd rather have between the two of them, right? But Jeudy went, I think, 3, maybe 4 rounds before Sutton, something like that. Give me Sutton then at that point. I'll take Sutton with that value in the 11th round. So, a lot of good names on this list. Now, for complete discretion, this draft, this was happening before the Super Bowl. So, obviously, OBJ was taken 12th round, early in the 12th round, and then suffered his injury. So, would he have gone in the 12th? Absolutely not. He went 12th because we were drafting before the Super Bowl, right? So, just to throw that out there. So, let's scratch OBJ off. Don't give the guy a hard time who drafted OBJ. He took him where he did. And I was considering him to, not at the 11th pick, but if he got to like the 13th, 14th round, I was going to consider him, especially if he stayed in that offense going into next season. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you like the value of receivers at this point? Obviously, the big boys are off the board. You're going to have to take some chances here. Let's see who blows up. Again, I went Sutton, Palmer. That's how I book into this round for myself. I feel really good about it. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comments below. Where do you like the value at here? Which one of these receivers do you like between rounds 11 through 20? Where was the best value at? So with that, let's take a look at tight end. Tight end is one of those positions, guys. There's only, 7 in this tier? Yeah, there was 7 taken. Cole Kmet, 12-11. Hunter Henry, 16-10. Irv Smith, 17-9. Robert Tonyan, 18-5. Zach Ertz, 18-11. David Njoku at the 25. And then Evan Ingram at the 20-12. Now, there's one player in this tier that I absolutely love going into next season. I suggest getting him if you can. I'm not saying he's going to blow up next season, but in a Dynasty League, this is a player you need to go grab and stash right now. That's Cole Kmet, tight end, Chicago Bears. You guys know how I feel about Justin Fields. I think he's going to be an elite player. And Cole is that guy can play. I like his tape. I like what he does. Cole, to me, has all the lookings of a very solid tight end. And that could happen maybe not next season to where he's consistently like that, but I think soon Cole Kmet could be one of those guys that we're talking about that's going to have a breakout. I think he's going to start entering really soon into that Dallas Goedert territory where we always talked about it. Like, we knew Goedert was going to break out at some point. We knew he was going to be good. He was stuck behind Ertz. And then, Ertz finally got traded last year. Goedert got that big contract, and we're starting to see this might be the year. 2022 should be the year that Goedert absolutely blows up. And I think Cole Kmet is going to start entering that Goedert sitting behind Zach Ertz stage to where you're going to see glimpses of elite play. You're going to see glimpses of like this guy you have to go get because he's so cheap right now. He's going to blow up in a season or two. That's a great pickup. I'd like David Njoku as well. Njoku is a free agent, first round capital. We're going to see what happens with the Browns if they retain him, if they try to. I'm guessing they will, which would ultimately mean that they're probably going to have to cut ways with Austin Hooper. But Njoku, if he gets out into the open market, I just mentioned Herbert earlier, right? These are the players you have to go grab right now, these free agents, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen. Imagine David Njoku with that athleticism and that playmaking ability, and he lands with the Chargers as the starting tight end. not saying it's going to happen. I can see it happening, though. I really can. And if that were to come to fruition, he could absolutely blow up. He could have a huge season next year. These are the players in the 20th round. I mean, to take that type of dart throw, I'm down with that, man. Absolutely take that dart throw. Let's see what happens, because if it hits, your team is going to be in such a better situation moving forward, especially with this league being a tight end premium, half-point tight end premium. Grabbing those tight ends, it's imperative. Now, for me, I didn't take a tight end in this range. I took Mark Andrews in the second round, right? Yeah, second round. Pick 3 in the second round. I have not taken a tight end since. Took Andrews, rounds 3 through 20 have come and gone, and I still have one tight end on my roster at this point. Was that the best move? Probably not, but I felt great about having Andrews. I wanted to supplement the rest of my team, and I figured I was going to have someone at the back end of the draft that was always a very talented player, is still young, will be a free agent this year. I was lucky. My thought process panned out. He was waiting for me at the end of this draft, and I was so happy to grab him. I'm not going to spoil it. It's going to be in an upcoming video. So let's take a look at my team, though, through the first 20 rounds. So you guys can see right away, I'm not going to cover too much of rounds 1 through 10. I'll cover it briefly. Dak, Andrews, DJ Moore, Joe Mixon, Ridley, Tua, CEH, Claypool, Fred Warner, Mike Williams. Felt like it was a solid draft there. But then let's look at rounds 11 through 20. I think my team is really in a nice spot based on these rounds. Devin Singletary, Sutton, Cole Holcomb, Josh Palmer, Logan Wilson, Nico Collins, Terrace Marshall, Shaq Thompson, Sony Michel, Mitch Trubisky. Now, I felt like I landed some really good value here. I did not go after LBs early like a lot of folks did. I did take Fred Warner in the 9th round, right? All those LB1s were coming off the board really quick. And to me, Fred Warner's probably LB 5 or 6 in Dynasty. To get him where I did, I was happy with it. But starting in round, 15 is when I started to address my IDP. Grab myself Holcomb. Go get Shaq Thompson. Like, those type of players, I feel like I have 4 very solid starters at the linebacker spot, and I didn't press the issue. I let the board fall to me. And I can't stress that enough for you guys in your startup drafts. Don't panic. Don't make these panic moves. You sit here and you get all flustered. You have that FOMO, the fear of missing out, and you start rushing things and you start making bad decisions. Let the board come to you. There's always going to be talent. There was talent still on the board in the 40th round of this draft. Legitimately. There was absolutely talented players sitting on the board in the 40th round. I want you to think about that. Sit back, relax, and just chill out, man. Just let the board fall to you. If you sit here and play this game where you're constantly bouncing around and moving draft picks and let me slide up and, I'm going to give up this to move up 5 spots and yada, 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 you're going to fall flat on your ass. It is what it is. That's exactly what's going to happen. Sit back, relax, let the board come to you. And that's what I did in this draft. Nico Collins, I like a lot. I just mentioned Davis Mills. I think Nico Collins has a chance. He's a very talented player. He's within that offense. Obviously, all the dysfunction that was going on. He missed a lot of time with injury last year. I like him a lot. Terrace Marshall, I like a lot. I liked his tape a lot coming out. Did he do anything last year? Absolutely not. He played like hot dog shit. You know that. I know that. But that's fine. To get him where I did, that's a dart throw that I'm willing to take. My strategy here, get my linebackers, take some young receivers that haven't popped, duck them to the side. My plan here was to book in my draft. Like, 11th round, I took Singletary Sutton back to back. 20th round, I took Mitch Trubisky. Like, I like where this team is sitting right now. Is it the greatest team I've ever assembled? Absolutely not. I'm playing in the league where everyone has my playbook. Everyone knows what I'm going to be doing. And they've been drafting well. I applaud each and every one of you. You guys have been killing it. But overall, I feel pretty good with this team. So, let me know, guys. Let me know what you think. You like the team? Do you not like the team? Could I have done better? You think my team absolutely sucks? Like, where are you sitting at? Let me know. Yeah, so that's it, guys. That's going to be it. Again, I'll do rounds 21 through 30 coming up soon, and then 31 to 40. I really wanted to show you guys what an actual draft was looking like. This is an actual draft. It's not a mock. This is a startup dynasty draft. And this is what we're thinking. These are the values that we're placing on these players. So let me know what you think. Drop those comments down below. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you want to get in the league, I'm going to do a couple more of these. I'm going to put the Patreon and the Twitter information right here. Hit me up on there. And yeah, I'm going to get more active with the channel. I've told you guys before, got promoted, started a new job. I have completely had to change my schedule, so I am getting adjusted. I feel like I'm finally getting to that point now where I feel comfortable investing more time onto the channel. I feel settled with the new role at work, so I feel good there. Obviously, you have to get your house in order before you can play, and that's where we're at now. So we're getting ready to ramp back up. Thank you for sticking with me. And yeah, any questions, you guys know what to do. You know how to get a hold of me. I'll see you guys next time.